Yeah, well, what have we got? We've played 5 games, lost 1 and won 4. So we're tracking on quite nicely. Obviously, a couple of weeks ago we had a pretty disappointing loss against Freo, but sometimes you need that loss in the point of the season to just bring it back to basics and start executing, the basics right. And then, we got some great cohesion across the past 2 weeks. So, hopefully follow that on to the end of the season.
It was a big win against St Kilda. What do you take out of wins like that?
Yeah, I think the best part about the game on the weekend is everyone just had fun. It's probably the funnest game I've been a part of in a couple of years. I didn't realise the score, I think everyone was just kicking goals and you didn't really, no one was kicking multiple goals. So it was just another goal kicker, and that's like a positive thing. Flip kick 4 the week before, probably a bit reliant on her, and then we had, 7 individual goal scorers on the weekend, so it was really pleasing.
What about Justine Muir getting her first?
Yeah, it's a funny story behind that. She hadn't kicked a goal in 32 games. Last week, myself, Josie and Lynchy were having a conversation, and there was a slab on that. So he said if you kick your first goal, well, I know you a slab. So he's yet to pay up yet, but he's told me he's purchased it. So pretty funny story behind that one.
How did you go to the jumper clash?
Yeah, obviously it was not ideal, but what can you do? We were meant to play Freo. I think we touched base with the AFL during the week, and with Indigenous round, there's stories behind each Guernsey. I don't think anyone was not going to wear their, but hopefully it doesn't happen in years to come. But there's not much we could do about it in the long run.
Was it hard?
It wasn't too bad. It wasn't great, but I felt like we adapted. Probably the first 5 minutes, we were like, okay, this is a bit hectic. All you're seeing is white, but I think as the game kind of flowed on, you would just look for black shorts, or you really started to just get used to it. But it was fine. But first few minutes a bit chaos, but it was non-issue because look at the score. Mate, it was all right for us.
Maybe it was an issue for them.
Hey, Em, I don't know, I'm sure this probably has, but I haven't spoken to you this season really. How do you look back on the start you had with having to go through the ring roll or the try? How does that sit in your mind, that experience?
Yeah, look, it was crazy. I'll look back probably at the end of the season and probably the craziest 2 weeks of my life. But I think the best thing is I found out the answer on the Thursday night, and there was a game in less than 48 hours, and it was a quick turnaround that I was playing a game. I didn't have to wait a week and go, that's been done. It was literally you're ready to go, you're playing games. So I think that was probably a positive, that it did end like that, and I was straight into the season. I didn't have time to dwell on it, and I was it was disappointing that could have been the outcome because I'd done so much work. But as soon as I was ready to go, I was like, let's get this season. And as soon as it was done, I was like, I get to play footy, and five games in, it's been a pretty cool season. So hopefully we can keep tracking the way we are.
All of your teammates and coaches at the time are glowing in their reviews about you handling yourself on the track during a period of uncertainty. What were you sort of thinking upstairs throughout all?
I just knew that anything could happen. We had some really good lawyers, Sam Abbott was amazing, and I just thought there is a chance that I can play. It might be a small chance, but I'm going to put my best foot forward if I get the opportunity to play. If that was in round 2, round 3, round 4, I was going to be ready to play and have a really big impact for my teammates. So that's all I did. Didn't miss a training and trained really hard throughout that period.
Yeah, any chats with Brid since then?
No contact, but I've seen that she's out of her brace, so hopefully she gets to play some good footy for the Giants, if it's this season or next season, because she seems like she'll be a really good player for AFLW.
Have a look at her response when that came out?
Not really. I stuck to 4 walls at this footy club. They were so supportive, and I knew that we were doing everything right, and the process that the club and I went through was I'm really proud to be part of the club and how they supported me. They were incredible, and now we're just focusing on the ultimate success, which will be a premiership. We'll fight for.
I think you're in a window for that as a club?
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Last year was really disappointing, and we still felt like we we were in the window last year. I think, missing your 2 best players does hurt, and, people say that you can't rely on players and whatnot, and we certainly don't. And you're seeing this year that we're not just focusing on Chelsea Randall and Aaron Phillips to stand up each week, but it does help having your 2 best players out there. So if we can keep, this team going, we've got, girls knocking on the door. So it's really even, playing field at the moment. Like Doc says, week in, week out, there's some really, talented girls missing out. So pushing for selection for sure.
Speaking of that, Aaron Phillips said last week this is the hardest pro squad to break into. How do you think this team compares with 2019, for example?
It's a tough one because we're missing, we had Courtney Cramey, Jess Foley and Sophie Lee, who were, critical parts of that premiership winning side. Like Sophie Lee wasn't a high possession player, but what she did for our team in 2019, and Jess Foley and CJ were amazing. But I think it's just real, like the kids are performing really well. We see, Tia kick a couple of goals on the weekend, reward for effort. She's played a few games now and she's starting to hit the scoreboard. Ash Woodlands has come in and had an immediate impact, and we've got Chloe Shear back from injury. Hannah Martin, they've both had ACLs in the past 18 months or so. So just for them to come up, and then there's a lot of girls on the outside. Jess Sedgery plays her first game on the weekend, kicks a goal. So I think we've just got a lot of even balance probably across the board for that wing forward role.
Do you reckon it won't be long before Tia gets a rising start? Not every week, maybe it'll be her this week.
Yeah, well, I think Ellie McKenzie and Michaela Bowen from West Coast, so they were pretty good for both respected sides. They both got the win. So if she keeps performing, definitely. Obviously, we picked her up with our first selection, so she's definitely having an impact on our side this year.
Playing Gold Coast this weekend, a couple of your former teammates you might be playing against. How do you think you'll go?
Yeah, Sally Riley got her first call-up on the weekend. I don't know how it's taken her 5 rounds to get in, but she was the player of the round there, so how's that? But obviously Perko up there. George Bevan, old teammate from 2018's up there now. So, it'll be interesting for them coming home to where they, first started their AFLW career.
I'm interested in the fixture as well. So, West Coast playing Fremantle again, so it's the first of these rematches. Are you expecting to have to do any rematches, and are you willing to do that? What do you think about them?
I think majority of players are really just wanting the season to go ahead and, we get a premier. Obviously, for teams like Collingwood and Fremantle and Melbourne and Carlton last year, not to get a premier, that's pretty disheartening. And obviously we weren't in the final, so we didn't mind too much. But you have to, think about them, because if that was us in 2019, you'd be pretty gutted. But I don't think we will potentially have to. It might, but we're open to all borders. So fingers crossed we head over to Victoria, because we've actually got a few fans over there. Last year we only played in Geelong, so we haven't been to Victoria Metro in a couple of years, so we've got lots of fans over there, so hopefully we can get to Victoria and then also have a couple of home games. Victorians come to us.
Yes, well, what about Collingwood, top of the ladder, undefeated? What do you think about them? What do they call them? The flag pies on the weekend?
The flag pies, or the hot pies they call themselves. They've been really strong across all 5 games this year. Their backline is holding up really well with Stacey Livingston, Ruby Slash, and then you've got the midfield, trio of Bree Davey, Britt Benici and Jamie Lambert, and then you've got Chloe Malloy, causing headaches down the forward line along like Sheridan, Irish girls. So they're really having impact. So I reckon they're the team to beat, and we want to put ourselves against the best teams, and we'll look forward to playing them, and hopefully in a couple of weeks.